And we are back on the Loveland Report. I am Cleve Loveland, Central Florida's voice of real estate, alongside the loan arranger. Done more loans than most. I mean, in 1 week, he does more loans than most loan reps do in a month.
Probably a year.
Probably a year. So anyway, talking about the housing market, what's going on right now, getting news from around the country. I talk to realtors from around the country, just like you talk to loan reps around the country.
Sure.
And it's funny, they are still, everybody's got it. Believe it or not, some people have it worse than we do, folks. They're making $50,000 non-refundable buyer concessions on houses.
Yep.
If we don't buy the house, you get half our
waive
deposit.
The appraisal, waive the
inspection, things like that. Fighting 30, 40 offers, listed for $700, sells for $899. And it's just, people coming here, we're so affordable, but I think a lot of people have bought what they want. It's just, this market, I think, will slowly grind itself out and slow down.
Well, it's going to slow down. I mean,
we'll give you the numbers. As inventory climbs, we'll see it.
We'll see it, and as rates continue to climb. So, it's funny because how long did I tell everybody, buy now, refinance now, rates are going up? And here's the thing. Rates stayed low longer than I would have anticipated.
Yeah.
It's funny because I had a family member come into town, and he's like, God, I remember you telling people like 2 years ago that rates were going to rise. And he says, man, you're still telling them that. And I'm like, and they're rising faster and faster and faster.
Long-time listeners of the show probably might not notice it, but I stopped saying rates can't go any lower about 10 years ago.
Yes.
We dropped into the fours, or maybe 7, 8 years
ago.
And
they did.
And I stopped saying they can't go any lower. And I just can't believe it. But the main thing about this, no matter what the rate is, Bruce, if you need to make a move, have somebody in your corner. Most people have a financial planner. They've got an estate attorney. I'm a real estate planner. I can help you with your hopes and dreams on real estate or what might be going on. You inherit mom and dad's house. Call me. We can talk about it. What's going on with that? Is that a good rental to keep? Or what are you going to do with the money? I see what works and what doesn't, and I've got customers that are millionaires and own 10 homes, own 20 homes, own 30 homes, and I see what they do with their wealth. I know what works and what won't. Cracks me up when I hear about these seminars. Come learn how to buy real estate with nobody's money.
Right.
All those things. Or people flipping homes that say, I've got I think 5 of my landlords, Bruce, were going to be home flippers. And did it wrong.
Right.
But now they're landlords.
Well, even
money.
these things where you join a seminar, you pay $1,500, you buy the CDs, the 8-track tapes, and the cassettes, and you come home with a beautiful booklet, and you paid $1,500 to acquire property without borrowing money. But you actually are borrowing money because the guy that puts on the seminar fronts the money, and it's like hard money.
Oh, yeah,
okay?
Yeah.
So you're paying, and you're paying dearly. And what he's done is it's actually genius because they're training you to be a bird dog for them, essentially.
Yeah, basically it is. I see that all the time. But the important thing is have a realtor like me that you can call at 407-352-8118. And I can help you with what's right and what's wrong. I just talked to somebody about their parents' homes. They thought they're getting elderly. They actually own 3 homes. 2 of them are rentals. They're in 1. They know they need to go to assisted living probably this year. And I said, well, why are you selling? Do they need the money? He goes, oh, no, they got plenty of money. Assisted living's paid for. I said, well, let me look at the rentals. I looked at them. The rentals were like $500 each below market on rent. And the leases had just been renewed in the last 2 to 3 months. So that's a property manager not checking the market. So, and then when I talk to anybody out there about what you're doing with a rental, okay, and we talk about this in our real estate mastery class and leapfrogging, if the house pays you $2,500 in rent and your mortgage payment is $1,500, that $1,000 a month pays the mortgage.
Yes.
And pays it down and pays it off. It doesn't go shopping with you at the
pocket.
It doesn't go shopping with you at the Millennium Mall.
No, you want to use that as your retirement. There's your 401k, there's your IRA, there's your generational wealth. And if you have questions about that, get into our next class. You can visit my website and check out our schedule at WeBringYouHome.com. That's WeBringYouHome.com. If you are concerned about interest rates rising, which everybody seems to be less concerned about the interest rates than you are about the home prices rising. Because if interest rates rise by 1%, it's going to cost you about $193 a month more. If house goes up by $50,000, it costs you $315 more, which is worse.
Yeah.
Now, the problem is you're going to get double whammied because you're going to get the 1% increase and you're going to get the $50,000 increase if you wait. So that's $509 a month for the same house more. Buy now. You're going to make money. And when I see people saying, I'm going to sit on the sidelines and wait it out, you are going to sit on the sidelines. You're going to pay more, and then you're going to like it even less when interest rates are 10.5%.
Well, I know a guy who's still living. Well, he's not living in his parents' basement, but I know a guy that when everything fell apart 12 years ago, he's like, well, I'm not going to buy again. I was talking to him 5 years later, and I short sold some properties. I'm like, you need to get back in. I said, it's fine. You need to live somewhere. He's still in his dad's basement or his dad's bonus room, and it's just. And that's one retirement scenario, but it's not one I recommend.
No, it's not.
You still don't control your destiny in something.
There is no rich renter,
and you're not. And if you're a single guy, you'll probably be a single guy for a long time.
Probably. There's probably a reason for that.
Yeah.
There's probably a reason for that. If you'd like to reach Cleve, he can be reached at 407-352-8118. That's 407-352-8118. The Loan Arranger, arranging loans all over the state of Florida and any state in the union at 407-250-9144. Or apply online at WeBringYouHome.com. Couple of reasons I think people should jump in the market. Think about this, Cleve. If you get into the market right now and your house goes up just at about 20% over a year on a $300,000 transaction, you made 60 grand. Okay?
Well, yep.
All right? You made 60 grand.
Yep.
And even if it went up half that amount, you made 30 grand.
Yep.
Where conversely, if you rent and you're paying $2,500 a month in rent,
you're
going downhill.
That's a 60 grand swing.
That's a $60,000, which net is a $120,000 swing.
Oh, it cracks me up talking to these people that think they're just, and it's funny when I sit in a room full of buyers, it's like there's all these big eyes, they're scared.
I've never,
like, once somebody does it, they are so happy and it's so easy.
You're right, and I've never met a poor land baron. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, you don't go, well, he's a land baron, he's broke, guy's got no money. No, listen, money is made in real estate. You're going to make more money in real estate than you are in your 401k, your IRA, and what you save. I can promise you.
But when you get to be 70 and you have 5 homes that are just about paid for, 3 are paid for and 2 have small mortgage balances, and they've gone up almost double in price from the first one you bought, that money going to your financial planner when you're in your 60s or 70s will definitely set you up for a nice living. The main thing is you've got to be saving some money each month and be in control of your finances, Bruce. I mean, you probably see some people where if they didn't have 3 car payments and high monthly living expenses, they could buy more house, right?
Absolutely, they can buy more house. And listen, we don't need to have 20% to put down to buy more and more property. If you follow our Leapfrog program, I'll show you how to get into your first house with 3 to 5% down and every house after that with only 5% down. I'll show you how you can accumulate 5 properties faster than your neighbor that wants to put 20% down and avoid PMI can acquire 2. You can have 5. And you're going to grow much faster.
I want to ask you real quick, Bruce. Vacation homes. I know they raised the interest rates on those, didn't they? People
so Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, the end of March, implemented what's called a loan level pricing adjustment, which basically means a bump in your pricing, because second homes were generally priced pretty close to a primary residence when it came to interest rate. Investment properties are higher. Okay, usually about a half a point higher in rate and about a point higher in points.
Now, you guys did a loan on this. One of our customers bought something for Airbnb. Did that qualify? Was that investment, or did you buy it as a second home? What's the difference there? Because if you buy something and you're able to rent it, how do you qualify that?
Well, if you're going to rent it, then you have to go investment. If you're going to live in it as your private personal vacation home, then you could buy it as second. So why do you think Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac raised the pricing on second homes? Because there was fraud going on.
Okay.
It was rampant.
Yeah.
Amongst lenders, realtors, buyers. So what they were doing is they were buying as second homes, getting the better interest rate, and turning around and putting it in Airbnb.
Yeah.
And so Fannie Mae went, we can't fight it.
I've seen so the pricing's higher.
So they raised it up, and now it's the same as investment.
News outlets and the platforms I get most of my news from all talking about how homeowners are fighting investors pushing into the suburbs and buying too many homes. And, one thing you got to be careful of, you buy a house for investment and you think you're going to be an Airbnb baron, check the HOA docs. Make sure you can rent out weekly or daily. Some people do that. I mean, other condominium complexes have like 2-month limits, 3-month limits, or seasonal, or 7-month. You know, we've got 7-month limits on leases on most properties in Orange County if it's in a subdivision.
You know, another thing people don't realize is, you know, whenever something seems like it's good, it's probably not so good. And I'll give you an example. So it's like people pull their credit on Credit Karma because it's free.
Yeah.
Okay. Why do you think they do it for free? Do you think they can advertise every other minute on TV for free?
Yeah.
You know where that is called? That's a data mining company.
Oh, yeah.
And when you get your credit report pulled for free, they sell it. Now, I use that analogy because 1/3 of the properties that are sold in America right now are by cash buyers or these iBuyer companies. Mm-hmm. Some of them are flipping them and selling them, but many of them are renting them out. Do you know why they're doing that? So they can acquire massive amounts of properties, and then they can control the pricing of the market. Mm-hmm. So if you think your prices are going up, and these iBuyer companies are, oh my God, I love the offer pad, Maxi offer pad, whatever it is that is going to pay cash for my property, and I don't have to have anybody through it, they're going to put you out of market.
Well, they're also, those offers, I mean, they sound great. And, oh, my gosh, showing my home is so difficult. It's not.
It's not difficult.
It's not difficult, but is it worth 30% of your equity, 25% of your equity? Because that's probably what will get you more than they will get all the time.
Yes,
they've
for
got
sure.
Their fees, they've got their low balls, they've got their backpedaling. Seriously, tell me, I just had somebody tell me that somebody made them an offer, and then it was low compared to what I would give them. They never came to look at his house. They did not look at it. They just looked at the algorithms and the pricing evaluators online, and they made an offer. And I guarantee you, when I saw this house, it needed some work.
Right.
And I guarantee you, I'm like, did you send them any pictures on that? He goes, no. I said, well, I guarantee you they're going to backpedal and backpedal more. But even with the work, even with the work needed, I got him 10% above what that offer was after all just listing it with a realtor.
That's amazing. Hey, if you'd like to reach Cleve, he can be reached at
407-352-8118 or lovelandreport.com.
Yeah, or you can reach the Lone Ranger at 407-250-9144, 407-250-9144, or webringyouhome.com. We got about 2 minutes, Cleve.
All right. We talked about needing a real estate planner. I do want to talk about something going on in property management. I mentioned some people that had way below market rents. When I got into property management, I've always owned properties for 25 years. I've owned other investment properties. I started managing properties about right during the bubble when things were falling apart, because what I saw was people not taking care of the properties, not checking them out to make sure they're being maintained, not collecting rent on time, not collecting late fees on time. And then the other thing was I managed those properties and also help the owner manage their expectations of what's going on. Every year twice a year, we talk about what's the value on the property. Do you need to sell it? Okay, if you sold it and you walked away with $100,000 and you gave that to your financial advisor, how much is he going to make that on you? Are you going to pay off some other debt? What are your goals? Because when I do that with them, they're like, oh, okay, I see my plan here. I've got a plan. And I've just had some people come to me, and like the person I just mentioned, their rents were like $500 on two different homes, $500 a month below market on rent. That's $1,000 a month. That's $12,000 a year.
That's right.
But I had somebody wanting to sell a property. They were only going to net about $60,000. And I said, well, look at your mortgage. Your mortgage is going to go down over the next year, the X amount of dollars, and the value is probably going to go up. Let's say it just goes up 10 or 15%. You're going to double what you're going to get.
For sure.
Just waiting one more year. And you're getting a tax break on it right now because of your income. Ask your CPA about that. So there's all kinds of different advantages, not just the cash flow on this and the retirement benefits if you're going to keep them that long.
Well, that's what we do. We educate our buyers and sellers so that they make the right decision.
And they can reach us at 407-352-8118 for Loveland Properties.
Or the Lone Ranger at 407-250-9144, 407-250-9144, or webringyouhome.com. That's webringyouhome.com. What's that?
How much we got left?
20 seconds.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll be back after this.
All right. We'll be back in 5 minutes with more of the Loveland Report and the Lone Ranger Radio Show. Stay tuned.